Hello, lovely people, and welcome back to Accidental Adult. It is fantastic to see you here again, and today I'm going to talk about the first trimester of my pregnancy journey. This video is divided into 3 parts. First, I'm going to talk about my own experience. Then I'm going to give you some tips and advice to survive, especially if you're having a hard time like I was. And finally, my husband is going to give some advice to the partners who also have to deal with the pregnancy, but in different ways. So there's a little bit of everything for everyone, so please feel free to skip to the part that interests you the most. The timestamps will be in the description below. So my first trimester sucked. It was really hard, and I was having such a difficult time. It was hard on both me and my husband and I. Doesn't matter, it was hard. The first couple of weeks were okay though. I was just bloated and hibernating, literally sleeping 12 to 14 hours per day. It was great. But once this sleep phase was over, things just kind of crashed and burned with the intensity of 1,000 suns. It went downhill so quickly. And that's because my sense of smell started to develop and I could smell everything. So far, I'm not loving the super smell. It's very annoying. I don't like it at all.
You can detect humans a mile away.
I can detect things I never thought twice about smelling. And it was super annoying because random smells would make me nauseous. Perfume, my own perfume that I've been wearing for the past 5 years. Soap, cooking smells to this day. I can't cook anything in the kitchen. There were a lot of smells that I couldn't handle. Everything was making me nauseous. But the worst one, in my opinion, was when I couldn't handle my husband's scent. And I couldn't go near him. I'm fine with him now, but at the time it was really hard. A couple of days after that, my morning sickness started. And just to manage everyone's expectations, morning sickness doesn't just happen in the morning. It's an all-day sickness. It could happen at any time. And it's not just once, but at least it wasn't for me. During that time, my rate was 4 to 6 times a day after every meal. Sometimes there was no meal. Sometimes it was just acid. And it's not small amounts. No. It is projectile vomiting all over the place. It's not pretty. It's not pretty, guys. It is not. I almost got hospitalized twice because of excessive vomiting. Thankfully, I didn't, but it was really hard and exhausting and painful, and it burned, and it took such a toll on my body and my sanity because it sucks the life out of you, and it's such a stressful thing for you to go through, especially when it's that much every day for 6 months. Yes, that's another thing. Just because your first trimester ends doesn't necessarily mean that your morning sickness will. Not for everyone, at least. It all depends on your luck. I, unfortunately, was not amongst the chosen ones. Another difficult thing that I had to deal with was constant exhaustion and fainting. I was dizzy and lightheaded and spent 80% of my time lying down. The other 20 was over the toilet. I'm laughing now, but at the time it was really sad because I couldn't take care of myself. And not being able to make food is one thing, but not being able to get dressed and shower by yourself is another. And I was fully dependent on my husband for a solid month. He was helping me shower and get dressed and making me food. And of course, I was so grateful, but at the same time, I felt very helpless and pathetic and ashamed and depressed, and I lost myself, and I felt like a different person for months. And it was really hard. What else? There was acne. I still have the acne scars. Nosebleeds. Nosebleeds were weird. Zero appetite and bloating, of course. Headaches, and yeah. Combined with the other major things that I had to deal with, I think it's safe to say that my first trimester was a nightmare. But I survived. And that's what matters. The reason why I'm sharing these difficult things with you is because very few people do. And I want you to have all the information. I want you to know what to expect and be prepared for these things should they happen to you. Of course, it's a case-by-case situation and you might have a beautiful experience. But if you don't, I'm here to tell you that it's okay. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with you and you're not alone. I'm right here with you. Moving on to tips and advice. I'm sorry, I'm rude. Would you like some water? Can I get you anything? A lens cleaner, perhaps? Okay. First of all, rest and don't be so hard on yourself. Pregnancy is hard enough on its own, so don't make it even harder, even if you're not being productive or going out much or talking to your friends or being nice. It's okay. You are mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausted. So it's okay to rest and have some time to yourself. So sleep, lie down, and recover for as much time as you need to. Second, the sense of smell. Get rid of anything that bothers you or makes you nauseous. I got rid of soaps, detergents, foods, my creams, anything that slightly bothered me. I either got the odorless version or I just stopped buying it. Now, if you are in a location that's bothering you and you cannot escape, carry with you rubbing alcohol or an essential oil that you can spray on a napkin to cover whatever smell that's bothering you. For the morning sickness, you need to keep track of all the things that are triggering you and avoid eating them. For me, it was anything with flavor. It doesn't matter what the foods are. You know, you just need to find out what you can and cannot eat. Trial and error. Trial and error, my friends. Obviously, your food choices will be very limited, but you don't really have much of a choice. Some of the things that I was able to eat were bread, certain cheese. I survived on cheese sandwiches, potatoes, crackers, bananas, some cereal. Basically anything that was bland and tasted like cardboard, I personally could eat. But please find out what works for you. Also, eat smaller, more frequent meals and keep snacking. What worked for me was a small snack every 2 hours. I still threw up. It didn't stop the vomiting, but instead of 6 times, it was 4 and sometimes 3 on a good day. So just find out what works for you. Another super important point, if you cannot control the nausea and vomiting, is talking to your doctor and see what they say. Mine gave me sedatives, really, really strong ones. And they made me feel drugged and sleepy. And I absolutely hated that, but it was either that or the hospital. So I took the pills. Another tip is have a barf kit with you at all times, because you never know. Mine was super simple. It had a barf bag, travel toothbrush and toothpaste, a few tissues, and gum or mint. In case you had no access to a toilet, you can use the barf bag, and in case you had no access to water to brush, you can use the gum or mint. And this was such a lifesaver for me. And even when I didn't carry the whole kit, I always had a barf bag. Always. My sister got married in July, and I was full on nausea and barf mode. It was not a good time for me, but my dress had pockets, so I had a barf bag. And at some point during the party, I had to throw up. So I ran to the toilet, didn't make it, threw up in the bag. And then went back to party. Threw up twice that night. Anyways, I will leave a link in the description below for the barf kit and the barf bags in case anyone is interested. My fifth tip is finding a good support system. Obviously, I wouldn't have survived without my husband. He was my rock, but also talk to your pregnant friends and talk to your mom friends because they can give you actual practical support and comfort. And if you don't have that, there are plenty of online groups and communities with the same due date as you that you can join. And it's fun because these people are in the exact same boat that you are in right now, reporting live. So it's nice and it doesn't make you feel alone. The most important thing to remember is avoid people who undermine or invalidate your feelings, even if they are your closest friends and family. You are vulnerable, sensitive, and you really don't need any kind of negativity from anyone. You know, not everyone will know how to be supportive or give you good advice, and that's okay. You know, they're not bad people, they just don't understand. So avoid sharing the difficult parts with them and seeking support from them. Don't let anyone bother you, no matter who they are. Finally, my last tip is take care of your mental health and try to find the positives in any situation. When I first told my doctor that I was throwing up, he was extremely happy. He said that it was a good sign that the pregnancy is progressing and that he would be worried if I didn't feel anything. So I thought to myself, whenever I threw up, I thought to myself, oh hey, you know, baby's doing well today. Or I'd think like, ooh, I'm not gaining any weight. And it can be anything, really. It could just be the smallest things, like I had a strawberry today and it was really good. So just try to focus on the positives, no matter how small they are. Also, try meditating. This was a game changer for me personally. It helped me calm down and breathe and manage a lot of the big feelings. I highly recommend it. Bonus tip, well, not really a tip, just something fun that you can do throughout the entire pregnancy, but this is when you start right now in the first trimester, is take a picture of your belly and your body every week until the end of the pregnancy. I did that when I found out I was pregnant, and it's really cool. It's really cool to see the evolution and, you know, the changes that your body is going through. It's actually really fun and really, really cute. And I take one by myself at first, you know, front, profil, front and from the side. And then I take one with my husband. And it's really cute and really fun. And it's such a nice thing to do. So I highly recommend you do that as well. Finally, the partner's advice. So while I was editing this section, I discovered that it was really, really long and it deserves a video on its own. So I will post it separately and link it below for those who are interested. And that is all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you did. Subscribe if you aren't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.